This is your captain speaking.
Let's get ready for takeoff.
Hey passengers, I'm your Captain Krilla.
And I'm your Captain Mary.
And welcome back to Smooth Landing.
Today we're going to be discussing a new segment in our podcast. It's called Overhead Compartment. And it's about local, national news, pop culture, entertainment, things like that, and things that we find interesting. So this episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about MomTok.
Whoa.
Have you heard of MomTok?
Okay, I have, and I even watched it, but I watched it like 3 weeks ago.
Well, why did you watch it?
Because it was so interesting to me. I needed to know more about the Mormon culture. However, I don't think I learned anything about the Mormon culture. I just thought it's just we don't have Mormons out here.
Right. Well,
Do
they're
we have
here.
Mormons
They're
out here?
here.
Do we have a church for them?
Yes, there's a lot of Mormon churches. One of my daughter's friends is Mormon, and they go to church every morning for something. It's like
Before school?
I actually went to high school with a girl. Yeah, before school.
Oh.
In high school, she would go to church before school. It'd be like 5 in the morning, and then she would go home, get ready, and then go to school.
Wow.
But I think that they're incredibly genius with their marketing.
Oh, what do they market?
The Mormon culture, when it's not, the MomTok is not even really about the Mormon culture. I mean, I'm sure they're receiving a lot of backlash because when you think of Mormons, you think...
Well, I don't know why I'm putting them in like the basket with the Amish. Like I want like a carriage and the works, and that's not
I
them.
think those are Amish.
Yes, I'm putting them as Amish. So when I'm thinking about Mormons, I'm like, where's the horse and buggy? And then when I was watching it, that is not at all. And I know I'm cultured enough, but I don't know. When I put on that show, I didn't get what I was thinking, but I got everything I wanted. They are swingers.
Okay. So that's how it got me on TikTok. I just got on TikTok, right? And I'm scrolling, and my daughter's like, Mom, you have to get on TikTok, right? And so I'm getting, and then there's all sorts of stuff on there. There's scary stories, and then I came across MomTok.
Here for it.
And I'm like,
I mean, TikTok,
they're swingers, right?
Yeah.
And so I go down a deeper rabbit hole, and I'm like, why are they swinging? Like, what is that? Well, they called it soft swinging. Do you know what soft swinging is?
I learned it because of the show, and I'm like, what are, like, again, then I'm thinking, like, what, are, like, you know, my initial thought, they're having sex with the clothes on.
I guess you're probably the only one that thought that, but I thought it soft meant like they were just initiating swinging, right? Like they were just kind of like, they wanted to be, but they're not, right? So I went down the rabbit hole.
So what did we learn what soft swinging is? What is that? Is that, well, I watched the whole show, so I remember. I'm a little fuzzy on it. Like they gotta dust the spider webs off. But I know that they like kissed each other. And that was like
so
normal.
It started out that they, the husbands kind of like initiated, like, hey, you should make out. The girls,
Oh,
the wives.
wow.
And so they kind of like
The Mormon husbands.
The Mormon husbands, right?
Wow.
And then the soft swinging kind of led to other things that wasn't, I guess, full on, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, and so.
But not all of them, or were they all? I don't remember.
No, there was like a group of them.
Oh,
so there was like a group of them. Like I believe it's 3 couples.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it really has much to do with the show because the show's after the swinging scandal got. Like that's how they got their show.
Right. I know that in the episodes that they were like very concerned, like what's happening to MomTok? Because they would dance.
Yeah, so it happened during COVID, and so this girl Taylor, she was just really consistent on TikTok, and she kind of blew up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the creator of MomTok, and so she kind of brought these other Mormon girls who were into it, and they were just dancing. Like that's how it started off.
A little group of dancing
they were just
Mormons.
And they would do their mom routines and get ready with me and all that stuff. So like that's kind of how it like started. And she created MomTok, and then it got a little bit more promiscuous as, you know.
I mean, I'm here for it all. Now that I know that they're not like Amish, they have different. I mean, it's wild to me because that's what my first thought. So I'm liking that the show gave me an insight to much more. But it's just crazy to me. Like I know that they have their belief. Like my cousin's Mormon, but she practices everything. But I didn't associate her with the Amish, so I don't know why this association was so big for me. But I know that they have their weird little. They're not weird. They're just different. We don't have these on every corner here in El Paso. Those drink bars.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have a soda with every soda in it.
I used to do that at Peter Piper. Be like Coke, soda, whatever. It was disgusting, but
I mean,
yeah,
we called them. I don't remember what we called them,
but that's their thing, because technically, as a Mormon, you're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed to drink caffeine, tea. So that soda is like their
outlet. Like I remember when one of the characters is like, I wake up to a Diet Coke every morning, and I'm like, fun, ew. Coffee.
Yeah, it's just. I think the more I get into it and the more I'm learning all the characters, I'm more interested in learning their backstories.
I want it all.
A lot of
Which one's your favorite character right
now? I like Taylor. I like her a lot. A lot of people don't like her because she's so honest. But
is she the one that she's dating that character that is? She's the main.
Her. I don't know if they're together still, but her baby daddy, her second, because she has two.
She did, yes.
And she was married.
She got a divorce, and then she got pregnant really quick.
Yeah, and that guy is a recovering addict.
Right, and he's frustrating.
I don't know him too well yet. I've only seen the MomTok part, and then I've seen a few episodes of the actual show, and so I think that's like I'm learning them better in the show, but I follow them actively.
I watched everything. I just don't. It was like one of the background shows, but I really enjoyed what I watched. It was interesting.
But we'll get more into that on MomTok, because that is my.
We'll circle back.
I normally don't like that type of stuff, to be honest, but it just caught my attention just because I wasn't familiar with the Mormon religion, so I think that's why it kind of caught my attention.
Absolutely,
they're just exposing the Mormon religion this way. But the thing is that they do say that they're not, like, in all religion, I think you don't claim like you're perfect. And I think that's why I admire Taylor a little bit, because she's like, well, I'm just a hurt person trying to like keep my faith, you know? And so I admire her because people expect this expectation that if you are even a little bit religious or you claim a religion, that you have to be perfect. And I think that's why I like her. So
yeah, I think she's relatable for sure. What was the one of the I can't remember. No, her name wasn't Wendy. The other main character, Whitney. Yeah. There it is. What do you think about it?
I don't need too much yet because I'm not following her on TikTok.
God, I want you to be like done with the episodes because I want to hear them.
I started it with my mom, so we're gonna finish it and kind of.
What does your mom think?
Well, it takes a lot for you to throw your whole life into like the internet.
Yeah, I know. We're here.
I know. And so I'm kind of. These girls just go full blown, but my mom's into it. My mom likes kind of that TV. She was into Vanderpump and all that stuff. So and well, they're getting a whole new cast for Vanderpump. That's a whole nother story. But so she was.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I saw a little video where he's like one of the creepy eye. Like, I'm watching Vanderpump because I heard they're getting rid of the whole cast and bringing a new one.
Who was that?
It was like a meme or something on the Instagram. I was like, hey, I haven't watched one single episode.
Oh, I liked it. I mean, I don't know if I really like it anymore, but I could kind of relate pre-kids to that era. So I think it was just kind of fun to watch on. But you want to jump into it?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
So this episode, we're actually going to be discussing I wish I would have known before. We'll have a few episodes of different what we wish we would have known. But today is what we wish we would have known before marriage.
Ooh.
And I've had two. So, still learning. But I hope I'm getting better.
Well, what's one? Give me some insight.
So, when you think of marriage, what do you think of?
Oh, man. I mean, which part of it? There's so much to think of. I think of how... like, you know what one of my very first thoughts when me and Chris were moving in together and married, like, I'm going to have like a permanent slumber party with my best friend. That was my very first thought of marriage.
My first thought.
I love how mine's like kindergarten and yours is going to be something amazing.
No, honestly, I think when I first moved into, I automatically started thinking of like, oh man, we have to get this together. We have to get this together. Like, it's not mine. It's like ours.
Oh, like what's one of those thises?
Well, like when you buy a car, like you have to buy a car, and like now it's not just my car; it's like his car too, you know. And so like things like that. So I mean, I don't think that marriage is scary. I think it's a beautiful thing, and but I do think a lot of people don't think of stuff until after, right?
Oh, for sure.
And so, I mean, I never thought of all that stuff. How I'm not going to have not that I want my own stuff, but you literally share everything.
Oh my God, we talked about sharing very lightly in a small little bit in here's the sharing that people don't realize that happens. When I go to charge my laptop, my charger's never there. Never. Chris uses
because
it.
What's yours is his?
Oh, and you know what? I love that, except for when I need it, it's never available to me. Or the phone charger. Somebody in the house is using it. Never, like, every phone comes with their own charger. Why is mine the community charger?
It's just how
every laptop comes with its own charger, but there goes mine again. And not only that, though, the Apple Watch charger. Never where it needs to be.
No, we even have our own blankets. Like, we sleep with our own blankets. It's life-changing. I know you have to share a lot of stuff, but that stuff we don't really share. Like having your own blanket in the bed is life-changing.
I just
don't have to worry about
here's what I'm thinking of, like,
I know
the
you're
bed
a
making.
You're a snuggle
No,
bunny.
the bed making. Like, where do you have to fold this other blanket and tuck it away, or is it weird out and I'm proud all day long?
Oh, you just put your blanket and then his blanket on top.
Oh,
Or, he could put his blanket and then you just fold yours at the foot.
like, are you one of those that have like 30 pillows on your bed?
No, I have one pillow. He has a lot of pillows. My husband likes pillows, but they have to be like good firm pillows. And I'm just like, I want a little pancake pillow to barely put my head on.
Really?
Yeah. Are you a pillow girl?
Well, I used to have like the decorative pillows all over the bed, and then I felt bad because Chris would literally see these things in the house. Like, is this towel a using towel or is it a pretty towel? Is this a pretty pillow or can I use this pillow? And like one time I saw him like deciding what to do with the Grinch pillow, and he was like, I don't. And I was like, you know what? Just use it all. Use it all. The whole house. Any decorative, nothing's. So now my bed is pretty made, but it's not one of those from a model anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a big pillow person.
Not like decorative, though.
No, sometimes, like, if I see a pretty pillow, but just like I have a 2-year-old, so she just can't have anything nice with a 2-year-old yet. I think once they get a little older, and she sleeps in the bed with us still.
Oh my gosh. How is that?
Well, I've heard many stories that it's not good for your marriage, but
here we are.
So
talking about it. When do you put the baby back in the bed? I feel like my kids never wanted to be in the bed with me to begin with. Like, I would go and get them and bring them, and then they would wander back.
Well, I think just when you're nursing them, it's just like easier to have them there. So all my kids were in my bed, all of them.
Oh, wow, you nursed all 4 of them?
All of them. Yeah. So let's get back on topic. Do you have any personal opinions of marriage? Like, let me backtrack. I think like when I wanted to do this topic, I think I have 4 daughters, right? Mm-hmm. And you have a daughter. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to kind of give them a glimpse of what they should expect before they get married, right? Like, everybody has this idea like, oh, I'm gonna have this big wedding and it's gonna be so amazing and I have this travel partner, but like, what are things that you wish your daughter knows before she gets married? So I kind of want to discuss that type of stuff.
Okay. What is one piece of advice that you would give Maya right now? Like right now? Well,
to make sure that they have the same values. Make sure that before, yes, he might be the most handsome guy in the world and he might love his mom, but what does he believe in? Like, what are his values, right? Because do people discuss that?
No. I mean, as far as like when me and Chris first got married, we never talked about religion or even financials, only because Chris was better off.
It's kind of taboo.
It is. Well, it was more embarrassing. Like, oh, do you want to know that I have $7 in my bank account? Or can we keep that a secret? You marry me and then I'm going to tell you later.
Or like spending habits, right? Like,
oh, man.
You need to ask what spending habits are. Like, so that's kind of the stuff that I want to talk about. Like, my daughters, hopefully, I'll educate them enough. I will. If they listen to me, that's up to them. But I do want to talk to them and kind of say like, okay, well, what's important to your partner? Like, and is that important to you? Mm-hmm. Is that going to bother you later down the road? Right? Mm-hmm. What is some advice that you would give your daughters? Or like, what would you want your daughter Maddie to know before getting into the marriage that you've learned in your marriage, right?
Oh, I mean, a simple one I really think that a lot of people look over is I really think it's important to have a friendship in your marriage.
I think that's super important.
Like, and a lot of people can't be friends and lovers, I think, or they can't decipher the two. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel with Maddie, I would tell her, like, at the gate, I really think that it should be an importance to you to build a friendship foundation and then add to that. Because me and Chris are probably friends 80% of the day, every day. And then we're lovers in those moments of, okay, like we share a kiss or we're cooking together or we're having a conversation. But the majority, it's like, okay, where are you going? You need to do this. I need to do this. Where am I going? Do you need this? Okay, ready? Brick, and then we go off about life. And I think that a lot of people struggle with their partner because they are frustrated that they can't communicate with them. Well, during a romantic moment, you can't tell them, you suck at this. Right. It's like, friends, hey, look, man, I need you to be a better team player and don't forget to kiss me goodnight.
Right. And I think that's huge. Like communication, I think especially, my first marriage, I got married very young and I had a baby young, and I don't think that I knew what it took to be a wife and a mom at that time. I didn't. I just jumped into it and I'm like, well, what are you gonna find out? But no, it's like literal work. Like you're supposed to be, a super helper to your husband. You're supposed to be intimate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very intimate. You're supposed to be very communicative. That's huge. You are, and it's okay for conflict. Like I think when people have conflict, it's like, oh, they don't love me anymore, like this. But like you're supposed to have conflict. Like that's healthy. And I think like you said, like communicating every aspect that irritates you or something that's but be able to receive it too.
Oh gosh.
Like if they're doing something,
I think you're perfect and I'm perfect too.
Right. And it's like, I think it's hard sometimes because my husband, I'm trying to be a better wife every day to my husband now. Mm-hmm. And I'll ask him, like, how can I be a better wife? Like, how can I, because what's important to him isn't important to me sometimes.
Oh. Right?
And what's important to me is sometimes isn't important to him.
Oh man, you know what? Actually, we were talking about that, Chris and I, about if he shares passion over something, he's more passionate, then I let him have it. And if I'm more passionate, then he lets me have it. For instance, school. I'm like, look, I see you trying, job well done. And he's like, no, I demand you to try hard. And I want, like, so he's passionate about school and I'm passionate, like if the kids are sick, I want certain medicines or I want to go about it a certain way, and he will let me have that. So we always have a compromise on stuff where it's like, well, he doesn't really care about this, so I'm going to take over, and we're good about that. But I think it takes a while for you to become comfortable in the relationship to be able to see those moments and not always want to be in control always. If you have a partner, let them pull some weight around the house, that's a really big thing.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about, this is one of the biggest things that I've learned in marriage is your partner does not know what they need to do that's important to you, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Or whatever. Or sometimes they do need a push.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you don't see the trash is full? Like, I don't want to constantly be telling you, like, hey, the trash is full. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not that my husband's like that, but I'm just saying, like,
a good example.
That was a good example. It's just, sometimes women, we expect our spouses or partners or whoever to be seeing everything that we're seeing because we want to control everything.
Oh, man.
Right? Like, we want to control every aspect of everything that's going on, but it's almost like, well, why don't we just ask them?
Hey.
Right? Like, why don't we just tell them, like, hey, I need help over here. Can you help me over here?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think when we start creating that mutual respect, then our partners will be like, hey, I need help over here too, because sometimes our spouses don't want to ask for help.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we've been the ones that are like, oh, I'm just saying for myself, because I've been like that, where I'm like, I can do it, I'm going to do it, and then maybe he'll see me doing this, and then he'll want to do it, but it's like, no, he just sees you doing it, you know, like he doesn't think that you need help when you do need help, you know. And so I think a lot of women, I'm not saying a lot of women, but I think if you're having trouble asking for help, that you should ask for help in any aspect.
Oh,
it could be
absolutely.
laundry, help with the kids, because us as mothers, we carry like this big old burden. We got to do this, and then we're like, well, why isn't our husband helping us? Well, because we're not asking for help. You know,
or feeling able to ask. You know what? I actually just thought about something. The gentleman who married Chris and I, his piece of advice when we got married, he said, not everything needs to be perfect always. And I didn't understand what he had meant by that in the moment. I was like, cool, be there by 8. You know, don't be late. And then I think about his words often because I'm like, wow, the dishes don't always need to be done the moment you have finished your last bite of spaghetti.
That you want them done, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that is when I feel like I'm like, okay, things don't need to be perfect, Chris comes in for the touchdown. He's pushing vacuums and he's like, and I'm like, wow, it's almost crazy because I think about those words and then Chris like feels the energy like, all right, I'm here, I'm cleaning, you take a seat. And I'm like, God, that is a good reminder because that is true. You know what I was thinking on another one that I want to tell Maddie before she were to get married is if you marry your friend or someone in your, like a person of a friend, you will have so many moments in your marriage where you're not going to wear your wife cap and you need to talk to your husband like, look, friend to friend, this is what needs to happen. Not, hey, I'm in my lingerie trying to get the dishes done, you know, like, no, we need to have a game plan. This is what needs to happen. And it's so much more comfortable.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Definitely.
I think that's a really good one. So marry your friend and you're going to have better communication because you will tell him that he's...
Yeah, don't be afraid to like express your needs, your wants up front. Like I think a lot of people, I'm not saying I think a lot of people, but I need to stop saying that. But I think we're kind of scared to ask for things that we want or scared to tell them how we feel. You know, you shouldn't. And
no, tell me. I want to ask you something. I just thought of it.
I'll just say this one thing. The best advice that I've ever received is that love is a choice, not a feeling. So to go off of that, it's like you're choosing this person every day, right? Like I am choosing to love you. It's not going to be this rainbows and butterflies all the time. Like I'm making the conscious choice to love my partner in the good and the bad all the time because it's not always going to be good and daisies all the time, you know? And so I think when somebody told me that, I was like, that was it.
Yeah.
Love is a choice, you know?
Or even with Sex and the City where Charlotte was like, where she was asking, what did she love this? They were asking, they're like, do you love your husband? And she's like, well, every day? Yes. Maybe not all day, but every day. And she's like, no. Miranda, it was Miranda that was like, don't you struggle? And she was like, no, every day I love my husband, but just not all day. I thought that was a good one. Okay, I wanted to ask you, what is a quality time in your with Justin or your husband?
What do you mean? What is a quality time?
Like, how do you do? Like, for instance, like me.
How do we connect?
Well, our date, or do you guys have dates, or do you?
Well, we have a 2-year-old.
Well, something made that 2-year-old. Dates question.
I love that 2-year-old. So we have we don't get a lot of alone time together, and then that's another thing. Like it's very important that you have. It's very important that you prioritize your spouse, right?
Yes.
Like, and I do talk to my husband a lot about it too, and I'm like, we need to go and we'll try to make time to go on dates. I think it's super important. One of our favorite things to do is go to movies. Like that's where we unwind and we reconnect, and we have a crazy schedule, girl, like crazy. And so I think when we can slow down a little bit and reconnect, it's nice. Like the holidays is always a good time to reconnect, even though they get a little wild. Oof. But I think it's super important to prioritize your partner and not let the craziness overtake. Because I'm that person. Like my kids are super busy, and I'm the one that's always like, oh man, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. Oh, we have to go here, we have to do this birthday party and stuff. And then I'm like, I always have to reel it back. I'm like, my husband, I need to prioritize my husband, you know. And I mean, it doesn't.
we can be in the room and just him and I, and that's our reconnecting. Sometimes we don't have to go on dates. But
me and Chris just barely started going out on dates again because Maddie's of age to be a cool babysitter. I trust her with Jack; they're cool. And we just started going on dates again. But what we would do every day when we always do the dinner breakdown routine together. So we do, cleaning up. The kids are washing up, and then they go to bed. And Chris and I have about an hour of just us time. And what we would do is sit out on our patio and no distraction, no TV, no nothing. And we would just talk. And I genuinely really think that was like part of my favorite part of the day for so long is just hearing him, like what made him excited or what was like, oh, this happened today. And really hearing him.
Are you asking him or he just
unloads it, and then he hears about every detail of my whole life because I'm like, look, that's what you signed up for, and now I have to tell you about every detail. And it's my favorite part of the day is just us chatting over the picnic table, and the kids were tucked in bed, nice and safe, and we would just be chatting. So
I do love that about your marriage. I do know that you guys always like make time to connect, especially at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely could get better about that, but
I hear it though. Like my sister's like, I won't sacrifice sleep. We can talk another time.
No, I know. You love that. I'm like, you stay until 1? No, I'm like 3 by then. Yeah, right.
I would prefer that unwinding time with him because that helps me get up to bed and be able to fall asleep easier. But there's seasons of your marriage where Chris, he couldn't do our picnic table time, and I had to learn how to reconnect with him differently because he was not able to stay up any longer. And he was getting his master's forever, and so he we had to find different ways. But I think that's another fun thing to do. Like, you don't need the bells and whistles. You don't need to go out on dates. You can literally cook at home or make kids are running crazy around the house, and me and Chris are cooking nicely together. Where it's like, and then we're connecting during that time too. So it's nice. We are in a weird season of life right now. Our life got so busy with the kids' sports and stuff. So me and Chris really do like 2 shifts in the night where he's going, I'm coming, and we try to find.
I know, that's why I'm surprised that you guys find time to cook. Like, if I get home at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night sometimes, so if I don't put a crock pot thing on, then the kids are not eating. No, I'm just kidding, but we're picking something up.
You're pulling through a drive-thru and nobody's minding it.
Yeah.
I was going to say we tag team on cooking dinner. Sometimes he gets home earlier than me, and sometimes I get earlier than him. But I definitely think that he
the shared responsibility.
Yes, and absolutely. But I don't know if you hear that right.
Captains, it's time for in-flight entertainment.
In-flight entertainment. Okay, that was fun. But now we have to get to the silly stuff.
Okay.
We're both gonna do some questions to each other. You want to go first?
Sure.
Well, you ask and I ask and then you ask.
Okay.
Okay, what do you got for me?
All right, let me pull it up.
I thought I wrote one.
I wrote 2.
Yeah, so just do one and then I'll do.
Okay. Would you rather? We're gonna do would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather live in a world where everyone tells lies, or everyone tells the truth?
Oh. Well, shoot. What kind of truths are we hearing?
The truth.
The truth. Well, I want to live in a world where there's truths. I don't want to be lied to all day. I think that would be a better world.
Okay.
I'm going to need to hear the truth. And maybe I'll be better for it.
And there's no white lies.
Oh.
No, it's just truth.
Just truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to hear the truth. What's it, good or bad? Here we come. I'll be better for it.
Okay.
Okay. What world would you live in?
I would live in the truth.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be lied to all day.
I'm sure that there's people that can't handle the truth sometimes, so I think they would probably choose the lies. But me, I'd be like, Are you like? Don't say it. Don't say it. And then it's the truth. Whatever. I feel like you get used to it.
Okay, well, I know that my yay or nay is I'm gonna do yay or nays, and mine's gonna blow your hair back. Okay, Mary. Mustaches, yay or nay?
On men or women?
What world do women wear mustaches?
Some women have mustaches. Don't tell me you've never seen a woman without a mustache.
I've never seen a woman just. Okay, I'm thinking the Mormons are pulling Amish carts, and now I've never seen a woman with a mustache. What world do I live in?
Well, like not a full blown mustache.
Well, I don't think that they know they have one. They're not wearing it as a bold choice.
For my husband.
Yes, for your men.
Oh.
The men in
My
the world.
man. Okay.
Yes.
Definitely mustache. I love when my husband can grow a really good beard, like a really, really good one.
Well, I think it's in the family. Mustaches and beards are cousins.
Yeah, but he'll shave it off.
Okay.
And then he'll leave his mustache, and I love it. And I tell him to leave it all the time, and he likes it too. But yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna say this. This is what I say about the mustaches. I think mustaches are so sexy. Love them. But my husband wears a full beard and mustache, and he has the most beautiful dimples that I'm sure you've never seen because he wears all this hair that he doesn't need. But I'm like, can we do that later? Can we get a mustache later, a beard later? Because let's see those dimples today. No.
So you're not about it?
On Chris right now, in today's time, I wish I would see his dimples more because there's like when we were in high school, they were just so defining. That man couldn't grow a hair on his face to save his life, but now he has a full beard and mustache, and I wish I could see his dimples.
Okay.
So for me, Nick.
No, I'm yay. 1,000%. I think my man he's very handsome. He has a great face. But I like facial hair. I've always liked facial hair.
A little French tickler.
Yeah.
That's what this grandma told me the mustache was. Okay. You give me yours.
Okay. Would you rather have a rewind button
Okay.
or a pause button?
Oh, wait. If I pause, am I moving? And I can move stuff around?
No.
Oh.
You're just pausing your
I want
moment.
a fun pause. Oh, like a pause moment. Like,
Well, no,
I'm
not like a
enjoying-
moment, like a pause time. Like would you pause this time that your kids are this age? Do you pause it, or would you rewind and go back into time to like?
Oh, I would rewind 100%. I have done all kinds of stuff that I'm like, well, that happened.
Really?
Yes.
And so you're saying you would change stuff?
Yes. I feel like I've had moments where I, for sure, passengers could have used a rewind.
I'm sure we all could.
What would you do? Rewind or pause?
I would do a pause. I would not rewind. There's nothing that I would change.
Really? I feel like I do think everything that in life has happened for a great reason. I'm talking about the moments where I've walked around with my fly open. Nobody said anything. I would have loved to have those moments where I could have zipped it up, kept it moving.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not trying to change life events. I'm just trying to not look ridiculous my
Well, I
whole
think
life.
that's what's important. Like, it's like the life stuff.
Oh, well, God, I want my cute. Can I fix my hair in a picture? This could have looked way better if I could have done a rewind.
Yeah, because I think just like, I don't know, everything that has happened has made me, but better. I'm always trying to be better because of things that I've gone through. That makes
That's
sense.
true. 100%. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change all my big life events, but I do have those sillier moments that could have been rewinded.
Next question.
Okay, I'm trying to remember it because I'm looking at my fun notes and I don't see it. So, okay, would you win the lottery, like choose to win the lottery, but you had to give up one of your senses?
Senses?
Yeah. And which one would it be? Or you can just opt not to win the lottery.
I don't know, because like I feel like they're all pretty important.
Which ones aren't? So taste, eyes,
I guess
hearing.
taste. To win the lottery, I would get rid of taste, so I could just
Okay.
eat healthy all the time.
You don't even know what
I
dream.
don't know what taste like anything. I would get rid of taste and if I could win the lottery.
I feel like I would not want to lose us. Like, I know what it feels like to not hear, kind of, because people are talking to me, and I'm like, why are we in 2024 without captions under people? You know?
I don't want to do
Sending
that.
people to the moon, I need a little subtitle right here in the middle here, nice and bold. So I can't lose the hearing, because I know what that kind of feels like. The eyes, no, I think that would be really
that
hard.
would be tragic.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then
hearing, feeling, and seeing is hard. Like, it would be really
yeah, I think the taste is where it's at.
yeah, like just
Let's
eat,
go.
just eat. I don't know what's healthy. Carrot. You like raw carrots and stuff like that.
Oh,
Whatever.
you bring your oats and hay for lunch every day, and you're making fun of my carrot eating? Ma'am, I'm sure if we pulled your purse,
That's the thing.
you
I
have
have to
some
force
kind of-
myself to eat that stuff. But if I didn't taste it, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know?
Keep it moving.
Gosh. You like your lima beans or what?
Oh, they're so good. Okay, no, I want you passengers to know that when me and Mary started working full time every day together, she pulls out her lunch. We brought lunch, cutesy lunches, boop. And then hers is ground beef, and then she pulls out a full bear, a honey bear. I was like, okay. Now we start drizzling the honey all over the ground beef, and I'm like, well, I don't know what just happened.
I saw it online.
And then she has a boiled egg and throws the boiled egg in this mess and starts eating that there too.
Now our passengers are gonna try it. Try it. You're gonna
Honey
have some
bear, she brought out a full
ground
bear.
beef with only salt, some honey, and a boiled egg.
And then she's
Carla was
like,
like,
that's weird, I don't care who
but
you
she
are.
wanted to try it.
And I want you to know, passenger, she's going to go ahead and wear a mustache while doing all of this.
I thought you were just asking if it was like okay. I'm
You
like,
wear
sure.
a mustache and eat your green beans or your honey bear and your ground beef, and I'll have my lima beans with steak and rice. Not weird, kids. Not weird.
You do have good lunches. One time Chris made you a, what did he make you?
Oh, the salami?
A salami sandwich. And I was like, oh, and then it actually was really good.
We enjoyed the heck out of it. It was wonderful.
That's hilarious. So, final thoughts on our episode of what I wish I would have known before marriage. I'll go first.
Okay.
So my final thoughts are: make sure that you're very open from the very beginning before you get married. Right? Open about finances, values, and just really talking about the hard stuff before you get married, because I feel like it makes marriage easier.
And to tag team with that, my final thought on marriages on today's episode is things can evolve. So if you have a thought today, doesn't mean in 5 years from now your thought has to stay the same. You can evolve and change over time. Just communicate it with your partner always. And you can be friends with your lover as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for catching a flight with us today, passengers.
Like and subscribe below.